Good morning. We crossed over yesterday from Chile. Came across the border after our second attempt. This motel was our saving grace yesterday at the end of the day when we were tired, a little bit worn out and withered. Apologies about the audio. The wind here is full on. It's relentless. It doesn't stop. Even when we were lying in bed last night, you can just hear it lashing at the roof of the hostel. The plan now is to keep heading south on Route 40. Our aim is to get to Ushuaia before the weather changes and gets too cold. So over the next few days, we'll just keep moving. Let's see how we go. Just loading up. Getting ready to head off again. Another day in the saddle. A lot of it's going to be hard top asphalt, so this might not be the most enjoyable. If we get some good scenery, it'll be good. But this wind isn't going to be enjoyable. It's very gusty, so we'll have to pay attention to that when we're on the bikes. Could be a little bit dangerous. Hayley, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Even though we were warned about the strong winds, we were still caught off guard by just how intense the ride turned out to be. With winds reaching up to 160 kilometers per hour in this region, the journey on fully loaded bikes and with the rain pouring was definitely a challenge. Throughout the day, we maintained a steady pace of about 60 kilometers per hour. Unfortunately, due to the rain and the extreme wind, we only managed to capture some footage, all of which was ruined by bad audio. We made a very slow trip down to Gobernador Gregores, where we found some accommodation and took a much needed rest for the night. Okay, day 2 on Route 40. I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't having the best time yesterday with that wind. It wasn't even even though it was raining, the rain was sort of the least of our problems. It was actually, that wind was just insane, to the point where I felt like I was getting whiplash on the right hand side of my neck, and there were points where I had to sort of hold my helmet straight and like almost use the left hand as like a neck brace. So yeah, that's the most wind I've ever experienced on a motorbike before.
What a lovely morning it is. We've just left the little hostel that we stayed at, Hospedage, and we're heading to the bank. Gonna get some efectivo, some cash, as we've been lacking. We did try and call into one hostel yesterday and they wouldn't accept card, they wouldn't accept US dollars, so we need some cash. The weather's good today. The weather is lovely. It's just crisp, it's fresh, but it's 10 degrees. It's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. There's little wind at the moment, although it does seem to pick up later in the afternoon. So the forecast says. But yeah, at the moment, it's looking like a nice day. That didn't work out. There's no cash in town. And just like that, the paved road stops and you're on the gravel again. And here they are, the real heroes out here, the cyclists. They have to put up with everything, all the elements, the wind, the rain, the huge distances between towns, hundreds of k's. A lot of them are out here on their own as well.
I'm just finding it incredible that this road is like the main road that gets you from north to south Argentina.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just so remote and so unpaved in like big parts of it, you know. It's just so different to Chile. I wonder if it will be a bit more, there'll be more civilization the further, ooh, there's deep bits here. I wonder if there's a bit more civilization the further south we get, or if this is it.
You gonna be chill, or do you want to cross the road? No, you're cool. Stay there. Okay, what about these ones? What about this one? Fuck, there's loads. Everywhere. What you guys are gonna do? Gonna chill. Very good.
We've just pulled in. I just want to show you the gravel on the road. You just have the deep loose stuff in between the little tyre tracks, so it's quite easy to just catch them and them to throw you. But yeah, some bits of it are nice and loose. You're doing us a little strut, Hayley. We're just trying to find ourselves something to eat and a hot drink in this little town. Maybe an empanada. It doesn't look like there's much here. That was nice. Coffee. Couple of little ham and cheese croissants, some lemon cake. We spoilt ourselves a little bit in there. Just what you wanted when it was cold. Here she is.
Apple of your eye.
The apple of my eye. The girl that buys half the food in the cafe.
Fat and happy.
No wonder she's ordering new suspension in Ushuaia.
We continue riding south on Route 40 and take a turn onto Lake Argentina. The scenery here is so stunning. The vibrant blue lake, the dramatic mountain backdrop, and the fascinating creatures we saw along the way made it feel like we were in a Patagonia travel magazine. We were hoping to camp out here, but the fierce afternoon winds had different ideas. With no way to escape those gusts, we decided to return to Route 40 and make our way to El Calafate. There, we found a paid campground where we could hide away from the wind.
What's that?
Weird, it's like an abandoned building.
Yeah, I know there's cats living in there. Look, and kittens. Look at him. There's a couple here as well. Look. You can just see kittens running around in there, look.
Oh,
There's loads, there's 2 in there. Look at them climbing up the curtains. It says administration there on that wagon. Hayley's playing her favourite game of drop the glove. So we're going to stay here. It's a little campsite. They do have power outlets so you can charge a few things. Table. Little area for a barbecue. Somewhere to camp. It's sheltered as well, it's perfect.
good morning. We are in El Calafate. It's about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's been quite unsuccessful in our excursions this morning. Matt was trying to find money and go to several Western Unions.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out. We're having a bit of an issue trying to get cash here in Argentina. This morning I went to 3 Western Unions and 5 banks maybe with multiple cash machines, and they either didn't have money, didn't have cash, or they wouldn't let cash out to a foreign card. So yeah, we haven't got any Argentinian pesos. The US dollars are running a little bit short. So
Yeah, which is even more awkward because we're trying to pay for excuse me, we're trying to pay for our campground and we don't have enough cash. And when we're trying to do the bank transfer, both of the apps that we use are not letting us send money, like Argentinian pesos. So yeah,
today's little problem so far.
Yeah.
But we'll get over it. Hopefully when we get to a bit of a bigger town down south, especially Ushuaia, we can get a good bit of money out to keep us going.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. In the meantime, we'll have to just pay for the campground with the money that we do have, which isn't too much. It isn't that much less than what they are. So hopefully that'll be fine.
Today's plan, we've made up some cheese and salami sandwiches, and we're going to get on the road and ride south on Route 40 still to Rio Turbio. It's about 230 k's, but Google's showing it as a nearly 5-hour drive, so I'm guessing that it's going to be unpaved and gravel some of the way, as you'd expect from Route 40. Might be interesting.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
No. So yeah, we're going to carry on packing things up, get the tent away and get on the bikes.
Adios. Adios. Muchas gracias.
Little bit of a later start to our day than we wanted. It's 12:30 and we're still in El Calafate. We haven't left yet. We have fueled up. We have just put some air in the tyres, so we are good to go. Rio Turbio, 238 k's away. We've not booked accommodation or a campground or anything. We haven't even looked at it. So it might be a bit of a longer day than we'd wanted. We were trying to get away from the long lake days. But I suppose that's the problem when You are running around trying to sort things out, like the cash problem this morning, and you don't even get anywhere with it. We ended up paying the owner of the campsite in American dollars. He was happy with it. He even gave us some change in Argentinian pesos, which actually helped us out a bit. It always turns out okay in the end. It's a condor.
He is huge.
Riding those winds. We've just ridden up the side of this huge hill up to the top of this plateau. We were riding up the side of it for a good while. El Calafate is down there in the distance by the side of the lake, and you can really see from up here now how much of nothing there is. There's not even fences or hedge lines or anything. Just a whole lot of nothing. Nothing's going to stop Hayley from eating.
I'll make it work. There's a will, there's a way.
So we just discovered there's two different ways to get to Rio Turbio. Via Route 40, you're looking at about just over 300 kilometer journey, or there's one way you can kind of cut through via Route 7. Now, whilst that's shorter, the road is unpaved. At the moment it's alright, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know how long this road lasts. I was reluctant to go the longer route because I didn't fill up my camel tank. My typical Britishness, we were at the petrol station and the lady forgot to, I pointed at my camel tank and asked her to fill that up. I either said it wrong in Spanish or she didn't hear me in my helmet and didn't fill it up, and I didn't ask her to fill it up, I just paid her and left. But I'm regretting that now because I don't have a full tank, and yeah, so we've gone the shorter road. Very long story short. Mixes it up a little bit anyway. The road's pretty good at the moment. It's slightly gravelly, nothing too crazy. My experience with Route 40 is, I'll be honest, it's not my favourite road. In terms of the scenery, I think it's beautiful, and I love how remote it is, but the wind kind of takes its toll on you, especially if it's like really strong wind on that day. Today is the first day where we haven't really, I mean, it's still windy, but it's not so windy that you feel like your head's about to be amputated. I understand why a lot of people that do this route, they skip a lot of Route 40 and get the ferry from Villa Higgins. I understand why people do that now. So it is nice to get off and change it up a bit.
Just like that, we're back on Route 40.
Back on Route 40, back on the hard top. That was nice though to break it up a bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Look at those mountains there.
It's a very nice scenic drive, actually. Definitely the nicer part of Route 40. But maybe that's because the wind wasn't
In our
playing
favour
up.
the other day, yeah.
So we just turned up in Rio Turbio and just saw the first sign that said cabanas. Drove in and it feels like a completely different town. It's beautiful here. There's about 20 horses there and this is our little cabana. Look how cute. It's nice and toasty. Got a little kitchen. It's all nice wood floors, walls and ceilings, and it's got our own bagnole. Just perfect for what we need for the next couple of days whilst we get stuff sorted. Not bad considering we only just spontaneously found it. So can't wait to get hot chocolate and get all toasty. So we're all nicely settled into our cabana in Rio Turbio. We are going to spend the day tomorrow in the town just getting all the essentials that we need. We 100% need to clean the bikes. We haven't actually done that since we have started the trip, and there's a thick layer of what looks like cement all on our exhaust and all along the bottom of our bike. So we will be trying to clean that, trying to find a car wash and just doing a general service on them, checking, just swapping over the air filters and checking oils and lubing up the chain, etc. And then heading to an electronics store and just getting a few bits from there. We're looking forward to having a couple of days off and have a bit of R&R and a little bit of life admin before we head down and do the rest of Route 40. Anyway, we're off to bed. Night night.